Hi, my name is Nicole Vencil, and today we're going to be talking about phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. I'm going to start by defining those words. Phonological awareness is a broad spectrum of early literacy skills that include listening, rhyming, syllables, onset and rhyme, initial letter recognition, and other skills like that are on a continuum. Each skill relates to one another. Phonemic awareness, however, is a specific skill that is focused mainly on isolating and manipulating letter sounds. Um, Phonological awareness and phonemic awareness are super important to early literacy skills. Without phonemic awareness, students might be confused by the print system and might not have an idea that print actually represents spoken words. They're also indicators of early literacy skills and later reading skills. Um, for example, a student who has weakness in phonological awareness or phonemic awareness might be a poor reader or a poor speller or both. Um, it also helps students prepare for new vocabulary words while they're reading. They can compare unfamiliar words with familiar words that they already know. Um, Being able to have phonological memory includes many skills that lead to well developed reading skills. These things are print concepts, letter naming, vocabulary, phonological awareness, listening, speaking, and comprehension. All of these skills add up to creating phonological memory. And this would give students the ability to recall things quickly and identify written words as well as vocabulary word recognition. I have some activities that I came up with for each one of these early literacy skills that teachers can do in the classroom. For print concepts, I like to use chart stories. I would include pictures to represent words that children are familiar with, like dog. I would take out the word dog, and instead of having the written word, I would put the picture of the dog of a dog. To extend that activity as we get further in the year, I would probably take away those pictures or add the pictures to the top of the word where students could identify the word without the picture. For letter naming, I would do a large group activity called I'm Thinking. I would say something like, I'm thinking of a letter that starts the words fat, fit, fly, fruit. And then the students would name or identify the letter sound that the words begin with. All of those words obviously begin with the letter F. To extend the activity, I would write the words on a whiteboard or on a chart, and that way the students can see the letter that they all start with. For vocabulary, I have a write the room activity. I would take that week's vocabulary words, generally with on sentence strips with pictures, so they're easily identifiable. And I would place them in an area of the classroom during small groups or even during centers. The students could take a clipboard with some paper and a pencil and copy those words or practice copying those words. I only have one rule for that, and that is to try. That way students don't get too frustrated if they aren't able to create some of the letters in those words. I also extend that activity by allowing them to draw the picture of the vocabulary words. That's why including the picture on those sentence strips is so important. For phonological awareness, I play a game called Lock and Key. I have rhyming words on a lock and on a key. And in order to unlock the lock, they have to match the rhyming words. To extend that activity, I would give fewer choices. Instead of laying the keys out or laying the locks out, I would give them the option of two keys for one lock, or two locks for one key. Just limiting those choices so they can see the rhyming words easier or hear the rhyming words easier. For listening, I would do a skill or an activity with using instruments. I would play different instruments behind a shelf or where the students could not see and ask them to identify the sound. So I would start by playing the instrument, like shaking a bell or playing a drum, and then I would go behind the shelf or an area where they couldn't see and play that instrument, and they would have to identify the instrument that I played. For speaking, I would do a question of the day. I like to do a question of the day where I get students thinking right when they get to school. They get to express themselves to me and on a chart. And generally, once everyone has attended or come to school that day, I will go over the question of the day during large group, our morning meeting, and students will get to explain their answers. If it's a question like, what is your favorite fruit? They will explain why they like that fruit. For comprehension, I like to do story retells. I do those with puppets or with picture cues, and sometimes I do it without, just to extend those activities. So I hope this helps um, some teachers out there with phonological awareness and phonemic awareness skills, because they are so important and relate directly to early literacy skills and reading skills.